Thank you, and thank you all for being here. It gives me hope when I see people come out that might not ordinarily come out, but perhaps sees the dangerous seas ahead. And I know this is an evening about Israel, and I want to talk about Obama and Israel, and I'm not going to talk long. But the book is the Post-American Presidency, the Obama administration's war in America. And I've been asked, did you say war to be provocative? And I said war to be accurate. Even yesterday, with the Arizona ruling, and everybody's talking about that, it was a victory for Obama. It was a defeat for the American people. It was an attack on America. I don't believe that Obama cares about the borders. He's an internationalist. He's an internationalist who believes in mass immigration. The law itself mimicked federal law. What is the President of the United States doing? Suing the American people. I ask you. I use the word post-American because he is working towards a world where America is not a superpower or the moral authority that she's just one of many socialist nations. When I asked him in Europe if he believed in American exceptionalism, he said, I believe in it as much as I believe in British exceptionalism, French exceptionalism, which means, no, I don't believe this. No, nobody's exceptional. And what's critical, and why this is such a key point, is because what is American exceptionalism? It is individual exceptionalism. That's what it is. And that's the basic founding principle of this great nation. Individual rights. Everything we everything that we became, that we achieved, that was heroic, was a logical consequence of fidelity to that very principle. Before the election, I had been researching this book for 3 years. He came on my radar screen in late 2007, and I was very troubled by his allegiances, his alliances. I was troubled by his background. He grew up from the ages of 6 to 12 in the streets of Indonesia. He was listed on his school records as a Muslim. Now, don't start with me. I'm just saying there was a deception during the campaign. You weren't allowed to talk about it. Not only were you not allowed to talk about it, but anyone that used his middle name was a racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigot. He became president, and the very first interview he gave was to Al Arabiya television, where he announced himself to be Barack Hussein Obama, with a proud as punch that he had Muslim family members. His grandmother was a Christian in 2008, was now a Muslim in 2009. Now, why I find this troubling is because he was deceitful about it, he lied. I find it troubling because we know from the study of Islam that Islamic anti-Semitism is in the very DNA of that ideology. We know because every friend, every alliance, every association he has is radically anti-Semitic. His friend Rashid Khalidi, who was a member of the PLO in the 70s when it was the most heinous terrorist group in the world. Now, there's a lot of competition because we're in a modern era of the modern savage. But at the time, he was a member of Rashid Khalidi, and Obama babysat his children. Obama, when he sat on the ties, the Woods Foundation, along with terrorist Bill Ayers, gave $40,000 and $30,000 respectively to Rashid. And what's most troubling is that the day before yesterday, Rashid announced that he was going to finance, he was raising money for another jihad warship flotilla, which is an act of war against the Jewish people. But I didn't get to the best part yet. The name of the flotilla is the audacity of hope. And I don't mean not sick, you know what I mean? The thing is, he couldn't have done that without the imprimatur of Obama. And just as the Lockerbie bomber, when he was released, which was shocking, this was the first terrorist, really large terrorist attack on America, and they released this mass murderer. He says he doesn't know about it, but it comes out in the British news 2 days ago that he signed off on it. Of course he signed off on it. There's no way he would have released that guy. Now, before I go to the candidates, because I know they're just chomping at the bit, and soon they'll be ankle biting, okay? I just want to, if I might, go just one after another, rat-tat-tat like a machine gun, some of the things Obama has done concerning Israel. As you know, you must have seen the UK Prime Minister in Turkey yesterday denouncing Israel for defending herself. Now, at least you saw that in black and white. You saw those videos. Now, if I hear one more time that it was humanitarian aid, I'm going to tell you something. I have friends that go to Gaza, and I think Gaza has an obesity problem. It's teeming with food and new shopping malls and swimming pools. Meanwhile, they're starving to death in Darfur and in the Congo, and nobody talks about any of this. But it's a humanitarian crisis. They have every right to stop those arms that are going into that state. And what people don't understand, is even if you don't like Jewish people, the thing is that Israel really is on the front line of the global jihad. She absorbs so much activity. If Israel wasn't there, you have no idea the amount of Islamic terror that would be unleashed on this world. It's like she's the mop-up girl, and she's Cinderella, and you keep kicking her on the head. She's critical to our national security. And we have seen time and time again that this is a pro-Islam president. He went to Al-Azhar University, the leading Islamic university in Egypt. Fine. Made a speech, always speaks to the Ummah. Not to French Muslims or British Muslims, always to the worldwide Muslim community. So he's falling right into that whole, Islamic Ummah global jihad thing. And he says that the violation of women's rights in the Muslim world is just as bad in America. Oh, really? He said we have, 96% of the girls in Egypt have been clitorectomized. Honor killings, women of property, they're subjugated, they have to walk around in cloth coffins and say they like it. And he equates that. He says he's going to make America safe for women to wear the hijab. He stops them. But meanwhile, they don't want to wear the hijab, and I know they write to me. Like Rivka Barry, when she left Ohio, the Christian convert, and was dogged, chased across the country to bring her back. An A student, no drugs, no boys, virgin. They're chasing this little girl because she converted out of Islam. Meanwhile, girls are running away from home, selling their bodies, doing drugs. Nobody's looking for them. Think about it. Let's think about it. Put your politics aside. Let's think rationally. We have to start to think. Just like I can't say to this guy, look, go to the gym with me. I want to firm up my buttocks. He can't do that with me. You can't let people think for you. You have to learn. You have to first learn everything. I will tell you that Obama is in secret talks with Hamas. Hamas is the Muslim Brotherhood. Just like the Muslim American Society in this country is the Muslim Brotherhood, an arm of the Muslim Brotherhood. That's not my opinion. It was proven in evidence in the terror trial, the Holy Land trial. CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, in this country is the Muslim Brotherhood. Meanwhile, they are the go-to guys for the media. The imam behind the Fort Jihadi, behind the Times Square bomber, behind the Christmas Day bomber, behind the 9/11 Muslim terrorists, Walaki, was the go-to imam by the media right after 9/11. They don't tell you that. I can tell you, I went to Florida, Boca, because Sarah Silverman was told all the grandmas, all the buggies, that they have to vote for Obama. So I went down there to Boca, and I was yelling in Boca Park. And I was listening every single, he doesn't have one normal friend. Not one. Reverend Wright, tightest fees with Farrakhan. Farrakhan, tightest fees with Gaddafi. Gaddafi raised money for him. Again, another thing. I broke the story of the contributions from Gaza. He received tens of thousands of dollars from contributions from Gaza, a Hamas-controlled area. I broke that story. Media didn't touch it. Or I broke the story of Henrietta Odinga in Kenya. Kenya, that's our ally. Gaddafi is our ally. He was running against them. He signed a memorandum of understanding with the Muslims to impose Sharia law should he win. When he didn't win, they were rioting through the streets, burning churches, slicing people to bits, so they gave him the position of prime minister. And what are we doing now? Your taxpayer dollars have spent $23 million to change the constitution in Kenya to impose Sharia law. Do you know that? I am telling you. that you cannot take an equivocal position on Israel. He is looking to make a deal with Hezbollah. And American Jews are looking the other way. He said that he's going to stop vetoing resolutions against Israel in the UN. This is why he's seeing this enormous sort of rise in anti-Semitism across the world. Because you know what? The most benevolent policeman this humankind has ever seen has walked off the beat. We are watching this man preside over the decline of America, aiding and abetting the decline of America by bankrupting this nation, by relinquishing American sovereignty in the world. When was the world ever safer than after America, the force of good, won the war against the Nazis? I ask you. You think that was an accident? Listen, he's anti-Platonic. Plato said that the world is a chaotic place. It was chaos. And that peace was a parenthesis. It's true. Because war is part of our DNA, like eating and sleeping and loving. I'm sorry, but it's a fact. Whether you like it or not. He thinks he can saunter in and give his $1 million smile and everyone's going to be like, oh, okay, buddy, let's roast some marshmallows around the campfire. It's not going to happen. They have their interests, and they're going to take advantage of their interests. And certainly, when you have a president who is turning our allies into enemies and aligning with our enemies, we're in trouble. And I'm going to tell you one thing. First year was healthcare, energy, and education. That was what, you didn't see anything in foreign policy. That was first year. He ran through nationalized healthcare. You're going to see him run through energy, August 6th, Captain's Act. You're going to see it. And he's going to use the Gulf, so mishandled, so deliberately mishandled. Any other president would have established a war room within 48 hours and the biggest brains in the world solving this problem. Instead, he turned down help from the Netherlands, who said we can clean it up. He turned down help from our allies. Why? Why isn't the media reporting on it? The media filed Freedom of Information Act requests to take pictures of bodies during Katrina. But they're not allowed down there to take pictures. And Katrina, as terrible as it was you can fix it. This keeps it inflecting. This damages for decades. They're wiping out whole communities, whole industries. The nation is in trouble. And I'm not overstating it. And I'm telling you, I'm hoping that we can look to these men, this woman. We can look to these men. We will not judge men or women by their sex or their race. Because let me tell you something, America was the best reputation of racist theories in the history of man. Because men from all colors and all creeds came to this country and made enormous success, which would never happen in their control-ridden lands. It never would have happened. So when they say that you're a racist, remember, it's to shut you up. That's the objective. And no president has ever sowed the seeds of division. He's creating racism where it's none. I've spoken at tea parties, I've been to tea parties, I have not seen one racist there. They say, well, you know, there was a guy with a sign. That guy with the sign was a lefty plant. Or they take a picture of a kid, he's holding a sign like this. They cut off the sign, it looks like he's giving the Hitler salute. This is what they do. This is how dirty it is. They're smearing and libeling millions of Americans. Because when they were doing, when we were painting Bush with the Nazis, I went to those rallies. And that's where I met Dan Loney. Always countering, always. Dan Loney, Pamela Hall. We counted this. The most violent invective, but you know what? Dissent is the highest form of patriotism, and it was good. And now, they're going to criminalize what we're doing. They're going to criminalize speech. What I'm doing now is hate speech. You think it's not happening? For the first time in U.S. history, the United States of America signed a resolution at the UN to restrict free speech. Did you know that? Not to defame Islam. And if you think it doesn't matter, remember, any treaty the United States signs supersedes the Constitution. Do you like your guns? I know I like mine. You like your guns? They pass a small arms treaty in the UN, they're going to take it away. You watch. You will not believe your eyes if we don't remove his hammer. His hammer. He has a hammer. It's the Congress in November. I see